Hey Ram fam, it's time for Ram Zone. Here's your host, Cam Allen.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Ram Zone, and we're back. We've got another returner this year. This week we're going to be kicking it off to Coach Jeff Girsch of the Angelo State football team. Head coach, thanks for coming in.
Man, thanks for having me. It's great to be back.
And I know the last time we saw you on bye week, and I was asking you what you were about to get into, and you said golf. And I definitely saw you get out there and get some golf in.
I got one round in that week just to go out and kind of take it in a little bit and relax a little bit over that bye week. But it's been full swing since then. You know, back in the realm of game week and preparation. So excited about it. But I did get one round in.
Got one round in.
Yeah.
And since the bye week, 5-0. Before that, y'all were on a 2-game win streak, and you're up to 7-0, 7-0 in conference play.
Yeah.
How's that been? I know you had those tough games to start the season, got you ready for the season.
It really did. You know, we talked about that today. You know, it's you want to play great competition all the time. We went out and played really, in my opinion, two very good football teams out of the MIAA. They're both within a game of the lead of that conference right now, and or two games in that conference. And we lost two tight games. You know, two games we felt like we had opportunities to win, and we just didn't. And it made us really get locked in, I think, and focused on the rest of the season. It also prepares you for the Lone Star Conference. You know, when you play two outstanding teams, non-conference wise, and look for those type of games instead of going to find someone you're just gonna, beat up on. I don't want to do that. I want to play teams that are top end and are going to provide great challenges and also great learning lessons, for the game and prepare us for the conference, because that's what it's about. We want to go win Lone Star Conference every single year, and by doing that, you got to be playing great football at the end. And we felt like those two games, even though I wish we would have won them, they were the right ones to play because it prepared us for where we're at right now.
I know a bunch of college coaches, they go in, a lot of them like to get those warm-up games where they put 70 on a team, but it's at Angelo State, we're looking for the hard teams to get ready for Lone Star Conference. It's one of the most competitive in all of D2 across all sports. What's it like playing in the Lone Star Conference?
Well, it's a tough conference. Week in and week out, you got to play your best football, and if you don't, you can lose. And our guys know that. You kind of hit on it. Trying to find those games that are going to prepare you for that. I felt like Fort Hays and Emporia were two that fit that. Last year, the last 3 years, we played Mines. Colorado School of Mines has been in the national championship game the last 2 years. That was our non-conference game, but those are the games we want to play. At Angelo State, we feel like the culture that we've built and the program that these guys play in and what they've done to get to this point, we want to play big games, and we feel like at Angelo State, we are the big game, in the sense of like when teams come play us, they're excited. That's one they mark on their calendars to play. So we want to play great football teams again. It's about playing in those games and the atmosphere and the memories you're going to make. Our players, they're not going to remember games when they win 60-0 over somebody that's maybe not at your level. They're going to remember really good football teams that you play, and those games are the memorable ones, and that's what I want. I remind our players, I said, I'm too old to go play in the games that are just to get out of hand right away. I want to be in those games that are competitive, and our program needs that. And again, it leads us into the Lone Star Conference and playing great teams like the teams you're going to see here. You got to have some experience against some tough teams.
And I know as of right now, y'all have been playing some really good Lone Star Conference teams, only allowing 10.9 points a game this season, averaging a little over 28. What's it like having both sides of the ball competing high level? I think you're first on defense, third on offense in the conference.
It's great. Defensively, we've been stout all year in what we've asked them to do and how they've performed. I would probably say this past weekend against Central Wash was probably the game we didn't play as well on defense. You look at it, we held them to 16 points, but at the same time, we didn't tackle great at times, and we also didn't do a great job with some of the mistakes we made. They just weren't exposed on that part of it. So we need to continue to get better on that side of the ball. Coach Salgado, our defensive coordinator, who we hired this year, he and I have had a great relationship over the last 11 years, and bringing him back to Angelo State, he's done a great job getting our defensive kids ready to go. And then you look at what we've done on offense too, and we struggled on offense the first couple of weeks of the season, but quite frankly, it was you're breaking in some new quarterbacks and some guys that hadn't played yet, and Coach Kilmer's done an unbelievable job of continuing to put trust in Braden. Braden's done a great job solidifying that quarterback position. He's been named Player of the Year or Player of the Week, excuse me, 3 times this year already, and just it took a little bit of time, but it always does on offense, and we're hitting at high level right now, and our guys are playing with great confidence, and we have some unbelievable leadership on both sides of the ball through the players, our seniors and upperclassmen too.
And talking about Braden Fuller, who's had 3 offensive players of the week, I know you also had Kenton Allen, who had a defense player of the week against UTBB, and that was one of Braden Fuller's weeks.
Yeah.
And also Cade Fuller, Braden Fuller.
Yeah.
They had their special teams and offensive player of the week same week. I wanted to get into, I know Dave Campbell had their story. Not a lot of people may have seen it so far. The Fuller brothers.
Yeah.
I know Perry's Dalton, good buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He's a cousin. What's it like having that family, right?
Man, it's awesome. I'll take as many Fullers as I can possibly get. I say that all the time, and I'm not going to leave out Asa. Asa was their older brother, and he kicked for us, the previous 2 years. So just an outstanding family. The guys, Cade, Asa, Braden, as the Fullers, are just as competitive as you're going to get. They're fun to be around. They got great personalities. Dalton fits right into that mix as well. Just a outstanding group of guys, and they're instant comedy when they step on the scene too. I mean, they're guys that like to have a lot of fun, but they work hard. They prepare. I don't know that we've had a better situation in the special teams game with Cade and Asa over the years. And obviously Braden's making his mark right now at the quarterback position. He's got 2 more years of eligibility too, and he's going to keep getting better and better at that position. And Dalton was kind of the surprise out of the group. We liked him out of high school, and probably a little bit more of a D-line when we first initially thought about it. But then he got here and showed us that he could play O-line, and obviously he's done a great job, being the center on our team the last 2 years. But just a great family all together. Their dad's at every single game that they play in, and he raised them right.
Yeah. And we talked about Asa. He graduated this last year, and we got a new kicker this year, Bradley Larson.
Yeah.
And he's had a great year so far. He made a 47-yarder this weekend in a key win, 1-point game. What's it like? Special teams, punter, kicking, and returning has been great.
Yeah, and you can throw long snapping in there too. Long and short snapping. Our specialists have done an awesome job. Connor McDowell's been snapping for us, and we're just fortunate. And you don't know how important those positions are till you don't have one. And we've been so fortunate to have those guys. Brad Larson stepped into the kicking role last year after Asa graduated, and was an all-conference performer as well as an all-region performer in the place kicking duties last year, and he's just kind of picked up that from where he left off last year this year. So those guys are so important to the team, and again, their personalities and what they bring to the table, the effort and how they practice. They're all great students. Just proud of them, and they continue to make us a better football team.
And so this weekend, we'll get into that real quick.
Yeah.
Playing a really good team, number 17 in the nation. You got a 17-16 win. That extra point at the end of the game, whenever it didn't go in, what was the relief for you maybe?
Well, that's obviously fortunate for the Rams, on that part of it. I got so much respect for Central Wash and their coaching staff and their players. They're a class act program, and I felt bad for the kid. I did. I felt great for the Rams, but I felt bad for the kid. But at the end of the day, they were lining up to go for 2 and try to win it right there, and they made a mistake, and we did. And they jumped off sides. They had a false start, so it moved them back and put them in a situation where they had to kick it. And unfortunately, he came in and for them, and he missed the kick. But at the end of the day, I've been through a lot of these. Year 30 for me coaching, so you ride the ups and downs of how the game is going. But we were prepared to go win that thing in overtime if we needed to. But fortunately, he missed the kick, and then we did what we had to do on the hands team to get the ball recovered and actually batted out of bounds the way we teach it, and we won a game. So you're going to win close games like that. We lost a close game like that last year at their place. So kind of a revenge game, I guess, so to speak, on that part of it. But it's just it's one of those things. You see the excitement in your players' faces, and a lot of them, including me right away, thought like, man, this game's over. We can take victory. And take a knee and end this thing. Well, we got to still do the onside kick and recover that. So our guys just did a great job, and it's so fun watching them and how excited they are. They got a lot of goals set, and winning that game, gets us to the next step of, securing another win and having a chance to compete for the Lone Star Conference Championship.
And so you talked about the onside kick, batting it out of bounds. I don't see that a lot. A lot of people get on it, fall.
Yeah.
Maybe have some of the other guys wrap around them, kind of defend them. The batting out of bounds, is that a penalty? I was wondering.
So great question. And we teach the same thing. So if the ball is coming at you and it's under control and it's not have a lot of heat on it, we do recover, get on the ground, people cover him up and all those type of things. When the ball's kicked hard, and it was kicked hard, it was still coming at him. The first guy got out of the way to block and let it go to the second line. Well, it's still, after it took a bounce, still had a lot of heat on it. So when you bat the ball, if you bat it backwards away from your end zone, it's not a penalty. If you batted it forward out of bounds, that would be a penalty. But Eric Rasco, fifth-year senior, actually a sixth-year senior, just an unbelievable young man, huge football IQ, understood it. The ball came at him. We actually worked on it on Thursday, and it came at him with a lot of heat, and he knocked that thing straight backwards out of bounds, and the rest of it's history. You get to take a knee and celebrate a win. But outstanding execution on the special teams, and I'll bring up Coach O'Brien, Tyler O'Brien, our special teams coordinator, has our guys prepared on special teams. And again, we talked about Braden, we talked about Cade and Ace in the past, and Brad Larson now. Connor McDowell, guys that are specialists. We take that serious here at Angelo State. A very good coach once said, and I heard him say, make special teams special. And that's something that we've attacked here at Angelo State, and those guys have done a great job with it.
So talking about the penalty, that's just, I've always thought, because I know if it's kicked near the sideline, if the returner puts 1 foot out of bounds and grabs it, they get it at the 40. I didn't know if y'all get it at the 40 right there.
Yeah, but as soon as it's knocked out of bounds, it's where it's knocked out on that part. But at that time of the game, I didn't care where they put it, as long as they just get it in play and get us to get a chance to go take the knee.
As long as it's y'all's ball.
That's right.
But earlier in that game, first offensive play of the game, y'all 75-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Starting out the game hot. Not a lot of scoring after that, though.
Yeah.
There was only one score second half, and it was that touchdown with, I believe, 34
seconds to go.
34 seconds.
Yeah.
What was that like, that second half? No points on the board.
Well, I think you saw two really good defenses is what you saw. Again, I don't think we played our best game on defense, but we held them down. We really did. We held them to one score in the second half, and you saw two good ones, and there's a reason. Central Wash, I think, is number 10 in the country in total defense. I think we're sitting at 6 in the country in total defense. So you saw those two units flex their muscles a little bit in that part of it. The first play of the game, Coach Kilmer had it dialed up. That's something that we saw on film that they did, and when we went into an empty formation, and we got some guys that can really run, and the plan was to try to take a peek and see if the corner cheated a little bit, and he did, and the rest was history on that. We hit Zeke Freeman with basically a seam ball, and he took it 75 yards for a touchdown on the first play. And it was a great throw by Braden, great read by him as well. And then obviously Zeke did the rest, catching it. And once he gets the ball in his hands and you give him a step or two, it's over. He's too fast to catch.
And so that game as well, they were number 17 at the time.
Yeah.
I don't believe the new rankings have come out just quite yet. But that's the first Angelo State win versus a top 25 team in just a few days over 2 years. And that may be a bit of an empty stat.
Yeah.
But what do you see that as?
Well, it's, we play great talent each and every week, and it's, it's good. Obviously you want to beat the ranked teams when you get an opportunity to do so. We beat a lot of them the couple years before that when we were in the playoffs and doing things. And, so, it's just exciting. Again, you always have, you got to play good each and every week, got to play your best. But there's certain games you got scheduled on your schedule, circled on your schedule a little bit that you're excited about. And no doubt Central Wash is one of them. And that's a compliment to them and Coach Fisk and how he runs a program. That's a compliment to them. We circle that one for sure. But it's exciting, and hopefully continue to keep working towards playing some more here soon.
We can't wait to see it. I know this weekend, second in the Lone Star Conference is who y'all play, Western Oregon, traveling up to Oregon this week.
Yeah.
What are you thinking before that game? What's going on this whole week in your head?
Well, practice. We got to get better and prepare. It is a short week for practice for us because we travel on Friday. Tomorrow being election day, no NCAA teams can practice, so we have no practice tomorrow. So that's something that's went in 2 or 3 years ago. Now we've been dealing with that, and I guess they can't go early vote. I don't know on that part, but. So, we're limited in our practice time, but at the same time, it's week 10, so you don't need as much of the physicality of practice. You want to kind of back off a little bit anyway, so it's probably a good time for that. But, Western Oregon's a good football team. They're 6-1 in conference. They have 2 other losses, but both of them were to Division I teams. So they went and played 2 Division I teams and got beat in decent games. And so, we got our hands full. They're good, and they do some great things on both sides of the ball. So they're a lot like Central Wash. They really are in what they do. They like to run the football and do things there.
And you were saying earlier, you feel like you don't look it, but you said you were feeling a little too old for those blowout games.
Yeah.
Going into this weekend, you said they're like Central Washington. You're excited for that close game. And the special teams.
Yeah.
Talking about it, it's going to come down to that, maybe.
It really does. Yeah, when you put 2 good teams on the field, it's kind of crazy. You never want to sit and say, a football game's going to come down to one play. But when there's 2 really good teams playing, it comes down to a few. Probably 5 or 10 throughout that game that can go in your favor, and all of a sudden you're winning or losing because of it. So, having great special teams and having great units on both offense and defense, and we talked about it before. We do a really good job, I think, at Angelo State of. On offense is preparing. We can run the ball and we can throw it. We do both. If something's being taken away, whether you just run it or just throw it, it's hard to do the other one successfully. So, we balance that out. And, again, Coach Kilmer and his staff, do a great job of being able to run and pass. So having kids that can do both is something that's important. And then obviously defensively, we're leading the conference in interceptions as well in the pass game. But we're also, I think, second in the conference in rushing defense. So, and number 1 overall. So we're excited about that. And, having great players to fill those, offense, defensive units as well as special teams is good.
And so you talked about the run game. You can be confident in that. You have a few guys. I know Fuller is your leading rusher right now. Talk about him throwing the ball. He can run it too.
Yeah.
But you also have running backs that are all over 4.5 yards a carry.
Yeah. What's
that like? Just dependable 4 or 5 yards every run.
Yeah, it's outstanding. We got great guys in the running game. Cameron Dishler is a young man that's kind of taken that next step. He's a redshirt freshman for us, and he's been getting some opportunities. Braden Wilcox has been dealing with some bumps and bruises along the way. So, Cameron's kind of come in the spotlight a little bit and done an awesome job for us in the run game. He'll continue to grow and grow. Out there, Jaden Jones is another young man who's a redshirt sophomore. Actually, he's a true sophomore. Outstanding football player. He'll continue to get reps, and we're hoping Braden continues to heal and do what he needs to do. But he's itching. He got a little bit of reps on Saturday, itching to get back, and he's a dangerous football player in the run game and pass game. But the other thing I'll say about it is, you don't have any run game without the offensive line, and our offensive line has done an outstanding job of continuing to provide both great pass protection and open up holes in the run game. So, we'll hang our hat on those guys and lean on them a lot to continue that trend moving down the road here.
And if you look at me, you can tell I played O-line in high school, and you always have that saying where the O-line's like the AC. When it's broken, that's when you're going to hear about it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's the toughest position in my opinion to recruit, as well as continue to teach and grow your players, develop your players in there. And Coach Madison Atwell, our offensive line coach, has done an outstanding job of, first off, identifying great talent to bring in and then getting these guys coached up to play. And, we got some good ones in the offensive line. We do. We got 2 kids in there that have been offensive lineman of the year within the Lone Star Conference, both in 22 and 23. Or excuse me, 21 and 22. No, it was 22 and 23. And then we also have another first-team all-conference player in Connor Fisher. So 3 of those guys are first-team all-conference players, with 2 of them being players of the year. So we're excited about that group that we have. The other guys, Dalton's one that's an all-conference caliber football player. And, we've had Kobe Singleton that's dealt with some injuries, and Veely's coming along in the offensive line too. So we've kind of developed that room pretty well. that is where we're going to go recruit number one all the time. We're going to go find those guys first, and we're excited about that group.
You know they're doing good when not a lot of people are talking about them just yet.
That's right.
But going back to this game we have this weekend, it's an away game. You said you're leaving Friday, and it's for the conference.
Yeah.
Well, being away, how does that maybe affect your game planning for it?
It's a challenge, the travel when it's going to Midwestern or going to UTPB down the road. Now you're jumping on a plane and heading to the West Coast, and it's it's a challenge on that part to say the least. And our administration does an awesome thing for us and allows us to travel right. We go on a charter and we get out there and have some time. We stay in nice hotels and do things, but you're not sleeping in your own bed, and that's the one thing. And it is quite a distance. So, it's definitely a challenge, but it's no different than it's when you get on the field. It's football. It's time to get out and play, and there'll be some excitement with the opportunity to clinch a Lone Star Conference championship. But at the end of the day, that's our first goal. We have other goals and bigger goals moving down into the playoffs afterwards. So winning 2 more football games the rest of this year in the regular season is our number one deal. But, we're definitely a 1 week at a time team, and, we're going to go 1-0 this week. That's our goal. That's what we talk about. We'll do that at practice today. But it's a challenge to go there. Western Oregon has an outstanding football team. They are the biggest offensive line I've ever seen in Division II for sure on that part of it. So we'll have our hands full on defense, slowing them down. They like to run the football a lot. Dynamic at the running back position and quarterback position, and then on defense, they're a lot like Central Wash in that as well. So our offense will have their hands full, but our kids will be ready to play. We say it a lot. We got to go play great football, and we got to go play a tough team like Central Wash this week, and we have to go play Western Oregon next week. But at the same time, they got to play us too. So we talk about that and make sure our guys understand. Have that confidence. But also respect your opponents at all times and be ready to play.
And you talked about it. We were talking about it beforehand. They play grass field up there in wet Oregon. Yeah. The mud. Is it supposed to be raining this weekend? Have you looked at the weather?
I've been watching like crazy. So there's chance of rain every single day, and they're saying 60% on Saturday as of right now. But that field's been beat up a little bit, with it. Now it's a beautiful stadium. It's a beautiful field. It's neat. I'm a Midwest guy originally, so I'm used to playing on, the natural surface like that. And our kids don't get to, outside of this one game every other year. So it'll be a neat experience, but it will be a little muddy there or slippery there. But, our guys tend to, adapt to the circumstances, and I think we'll be in good shape.
Do y'all do anything special? I know a bunch of teams, if they know they're playing on a grass field or rain, they try to do something special in practice to kind of prepare for that?
Once in a while you can do some wet ball drill or something like that, but quite frankly, I don't. I want to keep all of our footballs in good shape, so I don't want to ruin any doing that. But no, we just feel like going out and getting a good practice. You just go and adapt to it when you get there. And if it's raining, you're going to see it in warm-ups. You're going to see those type of things. And these guys have been playing football for a long time, so they dealt with the elements before. So not a ton, with that part. If we feel like something's necessary to do so, we will. But as of right now, probably not.
And you talked about Western Oregon. They run the ball really well.
Yeah.
Y'all are one of the best rushing defense in the conference.
Yeah.
And you have 2 guys, Kitten Allen, Stephen Woods, who are top 12 in tackles right now.
Yeah.
How do you like those guys matching up against a run team like this?
Well, I love it. And you can throw Eric Rasco in that group too. And he's our leader there and at the linebacker position. And, Stephen's just been outstanding for us this year. We joke all the time because there's once in a while we'll pull him out and put another linebacker type in where Stephen's more of like a hybrid safety / linebacker. He's just so talented. And we're like, how the heck are we taking this guy off the field, right now when we do it? And he probably wonders the same thing at times. But, those guys are great leaders for us. You're looking at 3 football players right there that have played a lot of football at Angelo State. And then you throw the D-line that we have and the depth we have in the D-line as well. I like our matchup. I do. We got to stop the run. It's going to be a little bit different than what Central Wash was, but the same concepts of, you slow down the running back and the quarterback a little bit, and you got a chance to win a football game.
And staying on the defensive side of the ball, I remember our first interview, we talked about Andrew Pitts, who had just at least tied the record for interceptions here. He's up to 5 on the season.
Yeah.
Sitting second in the Lone Star Conference. I just want to ask you, he's been here a long time as well.
Yeah.
And he's still getting better every year. What's it like having him as a player?
Well, it's awesome. You know, the young man is he's electric, is what he is. You know, he's a person that I don't know why the ball is like a magnet to him. You know, he attracts the football, and people throw at him and try to do different things, and he also makes plays outside of his coverage and breaks coverage to intercept footballs in zone and different things too. So he's just dynamic in what he does, and he's done a good job for us in the punt return game as well. And it's just he's one guy you can just mark into the starting lineup and feel good about and know that he's gonna make plays for you and do those type of things. Now, he's also one that'll take chances and do some things here and there, so we got to rein him in a little bit on those type of things. But we're so fortunate to have Andrew here at Angelo State, and his career has been nothing short of amazing, and we're hoping that he can continue to shine these last games.
And we talked about guys get better here all 4 years playing.
Yeah.
You develop players well. You've had a few go to D1. What's maybe the love-hate relationship seeing these guys get to transfer out? They're going to bigger schools. They're getting D1 opportunities, but they're leaving Angelo State.
Well, it's definitely mostly hate, I will say on that. I'm excited for those guys when they get opportunities. It's just something you have to adapt to. Mm-hmm. It is, when I became a head coach back in 19, and it started then, that's when that portal started and people being able to transfer. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the whole big picture of it. So it was frustrating. I got upset about it. And I felt like we lost some guys that, in my eyes, looking at it, where they weren't thinking about Angelo State. And that was the wrong way of approaching it. I can say that now. That was the wrong way of approaching that. Those guys had great opportunities, and they did great things at Angelo State that allowed them to go get those opportunities. So, you hate seeing people leave, but at the same time, you give them, wish them the best, and they move forward and do great things. And we've seen that here at Angelo State. We've developed, like you said, some very good football players. We got one back, with Jake Long coming back to play his senior year at Angelo State after he left the year before. But, I love these kids. I love their love for Angelo State. Like I said, the guys before that left, Kiki Chisholm was a great example of it, that left back in 19, and I didn't understand that. Willis Patrick left in 21. I didn't understand that yet, but I do now, and I'm proud of those guys, and I followed them like crazy all the way through their years where they went to, and been rooting for them ever since.
I remember Willis. I had a class with him. He was one of the ones I was thinking about. And I will be honest with you, I was confused. I saw Jake Long the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought he was gone, but he's back.
He is.
That love for Angelo State runs deep. He comes back from Duke, I believe.
Yeah.
And what was that reunion like?
Man, once he went in the portal and decided he wasn't going to play at Duke anymore, he and I have always had a great relationship. Mm-hmm. When he was going through the portal and trying to figure out what he was going to do, he was very upfront with me. We had great conversations all the way through about what he was thinking and what he was going to do. And he left the right way, on that part of it. So when he, decided he wasn't going to go back to Duke and went in the portal, obviously players talk all the time, and he has great friends here that he's built those relationships with, and he stayed in touch with those guys. And the second he went in there, I got several people hollering in my ear about Jake, and it was a no-brainer to bring him back. Yeah. He's just an outstanding young man. He's been working on a second master's degree right now. He got a master's degree from Duke after graduating undergraduate from Angelo State. So just a great young man, and we're so excited to have him back in the program and letting him finish up the game here at Angelo State where he started it at.
And do you believe maybe that leadership that he brings back, being the player, he was an offensive lineman of the year in the Lone Star Conference once, bringing him back, do you think that's really helped build that run game that we were talking about?
No doubt. It's helped build that run game. And the other thing that's really cool about it is it's helped the development of our younger players. They see the work ethic of this guy. They see how he comes in and carries how he goes throughout his day, and how he works, and how he leads and all those types of things. And he's just Jake's been very beneficial to us on the field and off the field.
And watching him come back from D1, Duke is a bigger D1. He comes back, and was there maybe anything different he brought back?
I think just experience, knowledge of the game continued to, he developed there as well. He did. He battled some injuries and did some things there, but, My favorite thing about Jake right now, obviously he's a really good football player, but every time he walks in the office, there's a smile on his face because he's having fun. He's having fun again. He's healthy and he's ready to go.
Alrighty, Coach. Well, I think that puts us right there at 15 seconds left is what I'm seeing.
All right.
And I just want to say thanks for watching, guys. This week we had Coach Jeff Girsch with us, head football coach here at ASU. I was your host, Cameron Allen, and I hope y'all watch again next week. Y'all have a good one.